Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CAA Travel Talks. Tonight we are cruising with Viking Cruises, and I have Hillary Brown from Viking with us this evening. Welcome, Hillary.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
I'll give everyone just a couple of minutes to get settled there. There is a little chat box. If you come up with any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to drop them in that little chat box at the bottom of your screen. We'll be sure to address those at the end of the presentation. Okay, it looks like we've got a good number joined. So welcome once again. I'm Karen Taff. I'm the Product and Group Development Manager at CAA North and East. And, CAA absolutely loves working with Viking. Our members love the Viking experience. They always come back happy. And Hillary and I have been working together for many years. We appreciate you joining us this evening, Hillary.
Thank you for having me, Karen. I'm very excited to share everything with Viking with all your clients.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we'll get started. So why CAA? Well, we have been in business since 1961 in the travel department, and we are essentially your one-stop shop for all of your travel needs. Whether you're looking for a Viking cruise today, if you're looking for a river cruise with Viking, an expedition cruise with Viking, or an ocean, we can help you with that. Of course, we do touring and simple car rentals or air onlys. Your team is, well-traveled. Our team are traveling to lots of different destinations. They're bringing back those little insider tips and bringing you the best experience to make it easy for you. We have our offices in Ottawa, Sudbury, North Bay, and Thunder Bay to service you, and of course on the web and on the phone as well. As a CAA member, you have access to exclusive benefits that are not found anywhere else. Just for a little special thank you for being our member, and Hillary will be sharing the member benefits that we have with Viking with you tonight. We have also a CAA vacations program that have a few little extra perks as well. Specialized for CAA, a 24/7 member care program and a best price guarantee. And of course, I still say the most important thing that I still pack is my travel insurance. I always make sure I'm protected, for my medical insurance, I'm protecting me, but I also protect my investments with cancellation, interruption, and baggage insurance. And as a CAA member, you could be saving up to 20%. So that's a wonderful member benefit.
Absolutely.
Now, before you get started, the first place you need to look is your passport. Has it expired? Is it still good? A lot of destinations require those passports to be valid for 6 months. If you need to renew your passport, you can go on into the CAA offices and get your passport photos done for free if you are a Plus or a Premier member. And if you are an Everyday or a Classic member, they're only $8.50. You can be earning some CAA dollars. You're going to say, what are those? They are actually dollars that you can earn when you're working with our travel reward partners. And you would be surprised how many they are, from, dining out to, using a moving company. If you go onto our website and hit rewards, you'll have a full listing of where you will earn either automatic discounts or earning these CAA dollars. And when you earn these CAA dollars, you can actually put that on your trip. If you need an international driving permit, we can help you with those. We do the permits as well as the photos needed for the permits in all of our offices. Once again, that 20% saving off travel insurance is incredible. If you're needing some luggage or accessories, go on into the stores. You could be saving up to 20%. And of course, you could be saving 3 cents a liter with Shell gas. All right. So again, thanks, Hillary. As I said, our team absolutely love working with you. You're always there for help and support and lots of training. Our staff are traveling, and we know our members are always in good hands.
Thank you, Karen. Well, hello, everyone. And I'm very excited, as I was mentioning to you and Karen, I'm very excited to be here today and speak all about Viking. When it comes to Viking, we are the largest fleet of small cruise ships. We are a household name. You see us on all the commercials out there. But again, we are one Viking. To me, this slide is very powerful. We sail over 7 continents, 5 oceans, 21 rivers, and 5 Great Lakes. When I say 5 Great Lakes, and I'll speak about that at the end of my presentation, is that we have our expedition ships as well, which start with Antarctica, then they go into the Great Lakes and also Antarctic. We actually own most of our port. We're right in the heart of the city. But again, one Viking. At the end of the day, if once you become a Viking client, you will become a loyal Viking client, just like you are very loyal to CAA. It's whether you've been on ocean, river, expedition, you now can cross-sell and go on. If you've sailed on ocean, you now can go on river. If you've been on river, you can now go on expedition, because at the end of the day, they're all sister ships. And a lot of our clients really looking for that new destination when it comes to Viking because they really like to have the comfort of knowing the ships by being sister ships. We have been voted number one for river oceans for the last 3 years. So we're very proud of, sorry, I should say 5 years. I apologize for that. We're very proud of that with Condé Nast. Let's just talk about, before we go into the ships, I really want to talk about really what is Viking's different. And it's our Viking philosophy that, it's a destination oriented cruise line, meaning that we truly believe that the destination should remain the destination. Our cruises are absolutely stunning. They're beautiful ships. But again, we're not about the ships, meaning that we don't want you to think that the ship is the destination with the roller coasters and the Las Vegas shows and the casinos. There is none of that on our shows. We do have fantastic shows, but again, we really truly believe that the destination shall remain the destination. And when it comes to our staff, I can truly tell you that we do hire the best staff in the industry. And they really do treat you like family. We are a family-oriented company, and we want you to feel home away from home. And that's where our staff comes in and makes you feel home away from home. And then, of course, on board, we've got our guest lectures. We've got great port talks about the next day, the next destination. Of course, we have our destination performance, cooking demonstrations, even on our ocean cruises. Our chefs will go off board with you, help you pick local ingredients, bring us into one of our kitchens, and you'll be able to cook with the chef there, learning the regional treats and drinks. We also have craft demonstrations, just to name a few, and of course, whether you're on river, ocean, or expedition, really enjoying those wineries. Of course, we have our wine tasting as well. So let's talk about what we're not before we start about the inclusive value when it comes to Viking. Is that, as I mentioned, no casinos, no children under the age of 18. We don't nickel and dime you. We're not charging you for that umbrella drink. We don't have photography sales, no art auctions. We really truly believe in focusing on the curated itineraries, the culturally enriched and destination focus. On any of our ships, river, ocean, and expedition, we do not have any inside staterooms. They are all outside staterooms. And then all meals are included, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And of course, beer and wine is included with lunch and dinner, and no charge for Wi-Fi. As I mentioned, we don't nickel and dime you. As our clients, we really want you to keep your hand in your pocket. When it comes to the inclusive value, when it comes to our ships with ocean, river, and expedition, is that every port includes a shore excursion. We have our complimentary Wi-Fi included, onboard meals, as I mentioned, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Wine and beer is included with lunch and dinner, coffee throughout the day, specialty coffees, pastries. And definitely you will not go hungry when you are sailing on Viking. And then again, really going and enjoying those UNESCO heritage sites, really getting off the ship. And as I mentioned, letting the destination remain the destination and going to visit those UNESCO heritage sites. All ports and taxes and fees are included. And of course, when you take air inclusive with us, we also have ground transfers included. When it comes to that, every port includes an excursion. We have a greater selection of options. We have our local life, we have our working world, and we have our privileged access. I can sit here and tell you all about that, but I thought we would let Karina Hagen, our VP of Sales and Operations, share all about these included excursions for every port.
At Viking, we offer our guests the iconic and the expected, of course. But we also appreciate that we're all different. While I might be interested in more of a local life experience, a visit to a farmer's market in France, or a home visit along the Volga River in Russia, others might be more interested in understanding how a local economy works. So they might be interested in a factory visit, or on a smaller scale, a visit with a Portuguese baker. My record! Local life and working worlds are experiences that we include for our guests. And then we have privileged access. And that really is privileged. We open doors to places that otherwise aren't open. We share some of our friends' homes and palaces and castles around the world that they otherwise wouldn't share with just anybody. We open museums before and after closing out, and we provide our guests with experiences that are not buyable. These owners appreciate that the Viking guest is different. The Viking guest is traveling to learn. The Viking guest is traveling to connect. Hosts in various destinations actually really enjoy sharing their worlds with our guests because it's a mutually rewarding experience. And what I enjoy very much is seeing that it's not just our guests with big smiles on their faces, it's also our hosts. Everybody leaves pleased, and that's hugely rewarding. The Viking way. Local life, working world, and privileged access. It's a commitment to make sure that we do everything we can to give our guests real experiences and privileged experiences beyond their expectations. That's what sets us apart from many other cruise lines. That's the Viking way.
Let's just talk about some of the highlights when it comes to our cruises. Now, I'm going to start with river, then I'll go into ocean, and then expedition. River, if this is your first cruise, I highly always recommend is the Rhine or the Danube. And our number one itinerary that we have on the Rhine is our Rhine Getaway. This is an 8-day itinerary with 6 guided tours visiting 4 countries, starting in Amsterdam, ending in Basel, and of course we also have the reverse of Basel to Amsterdam. Here in Kinderdijk, just to mention one of those included excursions, is that the Kinderdijk windmills are actually built in the 18th century. There are 9 windmills that are here in the largest concentration in the Netherlands, and as I mentioned, they were built in the 18th century. And then, of course, you really get to go in and step into a working windmill to observe its mechanics. We also have in one of our options for a tour is that we have our Kinderdijk windmills and Dutch cheeses, really going to meet the cheesemakers and learning the craft processing history as we, of course, make the cheeses. Here in Koblenz, this is the right on the Rhine and the Moselle, founded more than 2,000 years ago. This is our Marksburg Castle, right on the Rhine Valley. Marksburg Castle is actually one of the castles that was never destroyed from the 13th century. And we actually do an inside visit there. Here in Strasbourg, France, we have a wine tasting where you'll go off and learn the renaissance of the beauty and the distinct culture at finding the crisp, clean white wines. And then we also have a Mercedes-Benz factory tour that you can enjoy here. When it comes to the Danube, our number one itinerary is the romantic Danube, which is Budapest to Regensburg. This is an 8-day itinerary that is from Budapest to Regensburg. And again, doing the reverse to Regensburg to Budapest. And then we can also add an overnight in Vienna and also in Nuremberg as well, if you're looking at doing a pre and post, as well as Budapest. So Passau, Germany actually was founded in 2,000 years ago, and it is actually known as the city of the 3 rivers, from the confluence of the Inn, the Ilz, and the Danube rivers. Here, a couple of tours that we have included is our Passau walking tour. Well, you'll go and explore the style of the streets, beautiful Italianate streets of Passau, and you'll have conclude your walk with the magnificent 17th century St. Stephen's Cathedral. We also have our Bavarian Beer Fest excursion, and we also have our Salzburg highlights here that you can enjoy as well. We also have Krems, which is a small university in Austria, Krems, Austria, right on the Wachau Valley, which is also a UNESCO heritage place, and really going surrounded by the terrace vineyards. During the 12th century, Krems held even more importance than Vienna, believe it or not, for its iron, grain, salt, and wine trade. Here included, we have Goudwijk Abbey, And this is really going in and learning the breathtaking abbey, breathing where the Benedictine monks work and worship on a hilltop overlooking, again, the Wachau Valley on the Danube River. As I mentioned, a UNESCO heritage site here is cruising on the Wachau Valley, which actually cruises for about 18 miles. And here you'll see absolutely beautiful emerald green hills that you can enjoy sailing through here and seeing the charming towns, the castle ruins that Austria Wachau is known for. If you can't decide between the Rhine or the Danube, I highly recommend our Grand European Tour, which has a little bit of the Rhine, a little bit of the Danube with the Main in the middle. This is a 15-day itinerary with 12 guided tours, Amsterdam to Budapest, visiting 4 countries. And of course, Vienna. Vienna is Austrian's capital, known for the Baroque architecture, the musical accomplishment from Mozart, Strauss, just with the modern art. Vienna is absolutely beautiful city that dances to the tempo all on its own. We also sail, as I mentioned, 21 rivers. I wanted to mention here when we have the Paris and the heart of Normandy, even when we have 1 Canadian on board, we will take you to Juno Beach. So again, many opportunities when it comes to our rivers. We also sail on the Douro, the Nile, the Mekong, just to name a few others. Looking for something a little more magical, I highly recommend our Christmas time voyage with the red, the oranges, and the greens around the vineyards, the wine regions during this time of year. Really enjoying those fall colors, absolutely beautiful. And our Christmas time markets with the glühwein, the pretzels, the Christmas markets, and of course, less crowds and more savings. I truly believe when it comes to the Christmas time, our destinations with our Christmas time markets, our Christmas time theme cruises is a snow globe, a city in a snow globe. Absolutely stunning and magical. So again, we also have our wonderful Christmas market cruises as well. Now let's just go into a little bit about Viking ships. Now you got to remember that all ships are built the same with width and height. What Viking has done is we have our long ships, known for our long ships, which allows us to have more space on board for our clients to sit and enjoy and experience our ships here. I'm going to do a virtual tour here. This is our atrium. This is our 2-deck atrium. This is where our guest services are. We're going to go up those stairs, and on the left and the right of that wall is where we have our coffee station. Remember those specialty coffees throughout the day, mochaccino, cappuccino, wonderful hot chocolate, flavored teas as well, and pastries throughout the day. Now on the second level, just behind us is where we have our restaurant, where we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And again, as I mentioned, we also have wine and beer included at lunch and dinner. Really enjoying one of the great joys of travel really does lie in the sampling of fresh fare, culinary traditions, really locally sourced ingredients, and that's where our meals come in, such as Norwegian salmon, Dutch Gouda, Hungarian paprika, just to name a few specialties there, which are really inspired by our highly trained chefs to create that magnificent piece there when it comes to our food. This is our Viking lounge, going again just behind that wall where you can sit back, relax, take in the views, 360-degree views, as well as we also have our afternoon tea here, 3-tier platter with scones, pastries, sandwiches, all at the same time, enjoying 12 different types of tea. And just continuing into our Viking lounge, going to the front of our ship, we have our Aquavie Terrace. This is another place where you can sit back, relax, and have a la carte breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And as I mentioned, really owning most of our ports, I can show you right from this picture, we are right in the heart of the city, within walking distance to the quaint towns, villages, again, into the heart of the city. And then our staterooms, our unparalleled staterooms really comes from the fine art of the detail, from the beds to the bath, enjoying king size beds, multiple outlets, including USB ports, double sink bathrooms, heated floors, non-stick, non-fog mirrors, generous storage, and premium toiletries as well. As I mentioned again, all outside staterooms. We do not have any inside stateroom. This is our veranda stateroom, 205 square foot staterooms. And depending on your budget, you can go a little bit higher, a little bit lower. But this is where I call as our sweet spot, which is our veranda stateroom. Now, we sail over 5 oceans. We have a lot of product to share here. We sail on Europe throughout Southeast Asia and Egypt, as I mentioned, the Douro. We actually, believe it or not, building 4 more ships in Egypt within the next 2 years, just because of the demand for our ships. We have 5 ships on the Douro, and again, really growing those ships for the demand of our clients. We actually just celebrated our 100th ship within our fleet. Now, going from river to ocean, you're going to start to see the similarities, and I'm just going to show
The all-veranda Viking Star, Viking Sea, and Viking Sky are the ships our river guests inspired us to build. With just 930 guests, these small ships are thoughtfully designed to enrich your journey in every aspect. And because of our size, we're able to dock in prime locations. We also use the latest green technology, and all our ocean ships meet the strictest environmental regulations. Outside, our main pool with retractable roof is always perfect for a swim, even if the weather should be less than perfect. And we didn't just add an aft pool, we created the infinity pool to give you a sense of swimming right in your destination. When you yearn for serenity, the Winter Garden is the place to unplug and indulge in an afternoon tea service. Even the spa experience has been reimagined. In addition to holistic methods, we follow Nordic tradition with a treatment that combines an invigorating sauna with our remarkable snow grotto, where snowflakes gently descend from the ceiling through chilled air to greatly improve the body's circulation. Every destination has its own flavor, and on board Viking Star, Sea and Sky, you can taste them all. Our menus feature regional specialties made with locally sourced ingredients, along with always available American classics. There are multiple dining options, from relaxed and casual to our elegant restaurant. Perhaps you'd enjoy the chef's table for a specially prepared tasting menu complete with wine pairings. Or Manfredi's Italian restaurant for a classic Italian antipasto, delicious handmade pasta, or tempting tiramisu. If a quiet, private meal is what you desire, we offer 24-hour room service. And since the ultimate dining room is the great outdoors, Viking Star and her sister ships each offer more alfresco dining experiences than any other ships at sea. And then, of course, there are the accommodations. Great care was taken to ensure that every stateroom is an inviting home on the water. Designed with the understated elegance Viking has come to be known for. The choices range from comfortable staterooms to spacious suites. And every one has a veranda, so you're always just steps away from stunning views. Join us as we usher in a new era of ocean cruising. On board the ships of Viking, you'll enjoy ocean cruising reimagined, while exploring the world in comfort.
Hope you enjoyed that video. Let's just take a virtual tour into our ship. Again, going from river to ocean, going from that 2-deck atrium into a 3-deck atrium. This is where, again, you can sit back, enjoy our living room, have something to drink, just to relax and read a book and take in the views when relaxing in our living room. This is our Explorer's Lounge at the aft of our ship, where we have a 2-deck Explorer's Lounge. Just behind this wall here, we have Pops, which is another bar area where you can have a specialty drink there. This is our Winter Garden. Our Winter Garden is where we have that afternoon tea with the 3-tier platter, with scones, pastries, sandwiches, all at the same time, enjoying 12 different types of tea. This is our main pool, our heated pool. As Karina was mentioning, it is a retractable roof, so depending on season and weather, we can have that closed or we can have it open. And this is also where we have our destination-themed movies. This is our infinity pool at the aft of the ship. And then, of course, our spa. We are a Norwegian company. The owners, Torstein and Karina, are Norwegian company, and we are known for our Nordic wellness. And this is our spa that is included. There is no extra charge for our spa. And really going and opening those pores, going from hot to cold and cold to hot, really enjoying the warm beds, the warm waters, and then going into that snow grotto. I know Canadians were tired of the snow, but again, you can just pop into those warm waters. But again, we do have the snow grotto. We have the ice bucket that can cool you down, but again, opening those pores and going back into the warm waters. Speaking about included, we also have our restaurants. We have the best dining choices at sea, and I'll go through each of these. And these are no additional charge to eat in any of our restaurants. We have our main restaurant where you'll have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Manfredi's is our specialty restaurant. We have two specialty restaurants. We have our Manfredi's, which is our Italian fresh baked pasta. While you can enjoy, we have steak in there. Absolutely wonderful food there. We also have our chef's table where we have wine pairing. Again, those are two specialty restaurants. You do need reservations, but again, no additional charge. We have Mamsen's, which is our Norwegian deli where you can have split pea soup, Norwegian waffles, open face sandwiches. Of course, we spoke about the winter garden with the afternoon tea. We have remember we spoke about the Aquavit Terrace on our river. We also have the Aquavit Terrace on the river, ocean, and expedition where you can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, our pool grill, and 24-hour room service. As I mentioned, you have 12 choices of 8 dining options that at no additional charge. Again, trying to keep your hand in your pocket. You should not need to pay for your destination when on destination. Again, having that perfect sanctuary, really having those open air sanctuaries with a sweeping view of your destination. Again, with the king beds, all outside staterooms. Again, non-fog mirrors. We also have heated floors in the bathroom, a great storage space, as I mentioned earlier. But again, this is our penthouse veranda. This is our sweet spot. As I mentioned, and depending on budget, you can go a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but this is your sweet spot for a stateroom. Now, as I also mentioned, we do sail over 5 oceans, and we sail on the Scandinavia and Northern Europe. We have our Mediterranean Adriatic. We have the Americas, the Caribbean, Asia, Australia. And if you're looking for something a little bit different, I highly recommend our ocean and river voyages. And these are going in and exploring our fjords. We have a 15-day itinerary as well as a 22-day itinerary. And then, of course, we also have our quiet Mediterranean voyages. We have our Eastern Mediterranean as well as our Western Mediterranean. These are usually between October to December. Again, these are more of a quiet time, less crowds, and more savings when it comes to our quiet Mediterranean voyages in the Eastern and Western Mediterranean. Now, going into our expedition ships, and I should mention, as I mentioned at the beginning, is what we are the largest fleet of small cruise ships. When it comes to our river, we are 190 passengers. Ocean, we are under 1,000 passengers, and our expedition ships here, we are 378 passengers. So I'm just going to start off with a video on our expedition ships.
Viking is ready to explore the polar regions and the Great Lakes in comfort. Our right-sized, purpose-built polar-class vessels, Viking Octantis and Viking Polaris, are designed for expedition voyages. Small enough to navigate remote polar regions, yet large enough to provide superior handling and stability. Delivering the extraordinary expedition experience you should expect from Viking. These are the thinking person's expeditions. Profound voyages of discovery, created for curious travelers. On board, the Explorer's Lounge is an ideal place to sample aquavit, a craft beer, or perhaps Norwegian specialties from Mamsen's, a casual gourmet deli named for my grandmother, the Hagen family matriarch, that's also well known for its signature waffles. At the aft is the aquavit bar and terrace, complete with an invigorating indoor to outdoor pool, the tepidarium. flanked by a caldarium pool on one side and frigidarium on the other. Or head for the Finse Terrace, its comfortable couches and lava rock fire pits, located next door to the expansive Aula Theatre. This stunning panoramic auditorium, inspired by the University of Oslo's famed ceremonial hall, features a retractable 4K laser-projected screen that exposes spectacular 270-degree views from floor to ceiling windows. Home to lectures, daily briefings, science presentations, and films, it's the world's most advanced venue for learning at sea. Exploration beyond our Viking expedition ships is designed to be effortless. To accomplish this key design goal, Viking created the hangar, an industry first. The enclosed marina permits guests to embark watercraft sheltered from the inclement weather. Also overlooking the hangar is the Science Lab, a wet and dry laboratory developed in partnership with the University of Cambridge and Aquaplan Neva, which allows our scientists to conduct meaningful research and encourages guests' interaction. Additional knowledge centres are found throughout both ships, all to provide abundant opportunities for our guests to learn and discover as we explore the far corners of the globe. In the spa, immerse yourself in healthy Scandinavian traditions. From the sauna and snow grotto to a relaxing massage. Or enjoy a Nordic bathing ritual, an invigorating experience, moving from the cold of our snow grotto to a bade stump, the traditional Norwegian wood-sided hot tub. Dining brings many of the choices that Viking is known for, including Manfredi's for Italian cuisine and a private dining option. The restaurant, our elegant dining venue, the World Cafe for international flavors in casually elegant surroundings, the Aquavit Bar, and Mumson's, as well as 24-hour room service options. In our staterooms, sweeping views are yours from our Nordic balcony. A private sunroom with floor-to-ceiling, distortion-free glass that lowers to create a sheltered alfresco viewing platform. Our expedition vessels have a wide range of staterooms from which to choose, including spacious, elegant explorer suites, as well as the expansive owner's suite, an inviting home away from home, with the most exclusive accommodations and amenities on board. Viking expeditions reveal a breathtaking view of the planet in its purest state. We look forward to welcoming you on board.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Again, really wanted to share the designs of our Antarctic ship, which is our Actantis Polaris and our Actantis and our Polaris. And as you heard Karina mention, we partner with the institutions provided each Exploration Viking resident scientist. We actually have 25 experts that live on board and that are sharing their biologists, botanists, geologists, just oceanographers, just to name a few, that share their findings with you. So this is the aft of our ship where we have our Finse Terrace, hot stone fire pits here. We have 2 of those at the back. We have our aula, where again, we have our port talks in here. We have those experts that will come in and share their findings and their learnings with you. And then, of course, we have our Explorer's Lounge. Now, going from the ocean ship into the expedition ship, this is where we have a 2-deck Explorer's Lounge and now a 1-deck Explorer's Lounge. This is one of my truly favorite rooms. We've got the map on the wall, the constellation on the ceiling, and just the sailing by with the view of the world. Again, absolutely stunning places for you to sit, relax, and enjoy the journeys of your discovery, surrounded by panoramic windows, really inviting that space that you can relax with friends and family and taking in the scenery there. This is our laboratory. This is overlooking our hangar, which is I'll go into in a moment. But again, this is where we host guests. We will also be working on research vessels with an onboard team of Viking resident scientists. As I mentioned, 25 experts living on board, really developed in the consultation with Cambridge University, as Karina mentioned, and Viking's other academic partners. The laboratory is about 430 square feet. It is designed to support a broad range of research activities and is equipped for the extent of everything that you need to use in there. Then, of course, we also have our one of a kind hangar. This is where we launch a small excursion craft through the ship's slipway, which you can just see right in the middle of the screen back there. Guests can embark on our special operation boats there. We have our kayaks, which we also have, and I'll go into that in the next slide here. But the hangar after the excursions, really it is a slip-away way to the protected marina before disembarking onto those kayaks, the Pro Zodiacs, our special operation boats, and of course we have our yellow submarines. We have 2 submarines on each ship. We have 2 ships, which makes us the 4 yellow submarines. So now you can guess which is Torstein Hagen's favorite band, of course, which is the Beatles. And each of these submarines are actually named after a beetle. So again, you can really go off and during your excursions, you will be able to use your binoculars and really take in those photographs for your surrounding, or you can paddle depending on your guest, depending on your preference. And then of course we can have the submarines that allow you to experience what lies beneath the waters. And again, so you have your Zodiacs as well, which are smaller groups of passengers, again, for those landing sites and allowing you to explore. As I mentioned, coming from, you're going to start to see the similarities, which I hope you are. This is our spa. Remember, being a Norwegian company, we're known for Nordic wellness, really opening those pores, going from the hot to the cold and the cold to the hot, is included, as well as our fitness center is included, and our classes are included. And this is on deck 2. Now, of course, our Nordic balconies, they are known for the harnessing the Norwegian reverence for light and to create the optimal wildlife observatory at the sea. You'll see it's floor to ceiling windows, distortion free, as well as really taking in those views and keeping the elements out. So no veranda on our expedition ships because we don't want anything implementing your view. Again, really having those Nordic balconies that we have for you. This is our cabin and warming closet where you can, of course, keep all your clothes there, your gear, your expedition gear. Now, with the expedition gear, every guest will have a Viking expedition jacket that is included. We will ask for your size prior to departure, and of course, and that's for you to take home. Now, included for free of use is we have boots, waterproof pants, and our Nordic walking poles. So if you forget to bring anything or you don't feel that you would like to put it in your luggage, it takes up too much room, you're more than welcome to use ours on board. Now, there is a purchase for some of our gear, which is if you need a backpack, expedition stretch top or bottoms, neck gear, gaiter, just to name a few, waterproof gloves and socks. Again, included for free of use is our boots, waterproof pants, and our walking poles, and you get to take home a Viking expedition jacket. Now, of course, when it comes to our excursions, depending on your destination, you can enjoy the most interesting to you. Virtually all the excursions are included in your cruise fare, and in order to ensure you maximize your discoveries. These landings will be led by, of course, we mentioned our Pro Zodiacs, going into, for example, in the Antarctica, going into the encounter the penguins. We have a hike through the majestic landscapes of Tromsø, Norway, kayaking in Georgian Bay, of course, getting to know the Great Lakes. And then, of course, our expedition ships houses a few toys, which we have our Zodiacs that you can use, our yellow submarines, which we went through in the slide before here. Then, of course, a couple of our itineraries that we have here is our Antarctic Explorer. This is a 13-day itinerary visiting 2 countries, Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, going down the Drake Passage. This is, I mentioned, 13 days. We will have chartered flights between Buenos Aires and Ushuaia. We have 1 night in Buenos Aires, which will be at the Hilton or similar. And again, this is selling very, very fast. So just to keep that in mind. Now, when she's done the Antarctic, she is now going into the Great Lakes. If we have anybody near Welland, near Niagara there, this is Welland Canal. Our ships are made to sail through the Welland Canal. Again, I'm sure if you've seen her sailing by, that's our Polaris and our Arcturus. And then a couple of great itineraries here is, of course, the Great Lake itineraries. Really going the Great Lakes are little known, unspoiled wonderland with diverse natural beauty, scenic wildlife, and some of the most interesting cities in North America. We offer 3 different 8 itineraries going through the Great Lakes. And then, of course, we also have one of our itineraries here is on a unique itinerary visiting the Great Lakes is including Niagara Falls is we have our Duluth to Toronto. This is a 15-day itinerary. 2 countries exploring the Granite Islands, Georgian Bay, Sioux Locks, just to name a few. And of course, new itineraries that we have in the Antarctic is our 13-day itinerary, Greenland, visiting Greenland and the Northwest Passage. And then we also have our new, which is Canada and Greenland Explorer, which is Toronto to Greenland. You've got Ontario, you've got Quebec, you've got Newfoundland, and you've got Greenland in this itinerary. Great itineraries there. And if you want to extend that one, you actually can extend that 15-day itinerary into a 27-day itinerary, which is our new Canada and the Northwest Passage. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. We have a promotion that is going, which is save up to $3,000 per couple, plus free international air, and all it is a deposit of $25. That is a half a tank of gas. That will be a deposit for any of our Viking cruises. On top of that, Karen and I would like to thank you for joining us today. And we also have a CAA member benefit. On top of any other promotion out there that we have, if it is an 8-day to an 11-day itinerary, we have save $100 per person shipboard credit on top of those promotions. And if you're sailing for 12 days or longer, we have a $200 per person shipboard credit with Viking and combined with CAA there. So again, I want to thank you all for joining Karen and I today, and I will let Karen take over now.
That was great, Hillary. I mean, you've given everyone so many choices, whether you're looking at ocean, river, or expedition. And I actually had the opportunity to see that beautiful expedition ship in Toronto while it was doing a little stop in. Absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. Just taking a quick peek, it doesn't seem like we have any questions, but if you do, please drop them in the little chat box at the bottom of your screen. So once again, when you're working with your CAA travel consultants, they're traveling, they've been there, they're going to have those insider tips, and they're there to help you with every single step of your wonderful holiday to make it very easy for you. We've got those exclusive member benefits that Hillary just mentioned with Viking. That's pretty special. And of course, the savings on travel insurance up to 20% is incredible. So essentially, we're your one-stop shop for all of your travel needs. Now, our upcoming travel events, you can just scan that little QR code there. We do some events every single month virtually, and also our stores are having some events there as well. They'll be listed if you scan there. The next month for us will be with Rocky Mountaineer, and we'll be exploring Canada on the 11th of February. And if you'd like to book an appointment with a travel counselor, again, you can come in, you can call us, you can do it online, whatever works for you. But to save time, we've got a little appointment tool there, which is very handy. And if you want to share this travel talk with any of your friends and family who maybe you'd like to bring along on a Viking cruise, it'll be up on our website the next couple of days. And all of our past travel talks you can find there on the right of our screen. And there is a question here. Are there any elevators?
Yes, there are. All our ships do have elevators. However, if you are looking at our river cruises, you have to remember that all ships are built the same with width and height, and they're built for the locks and the bridges. The only place we do not have an elevator on our river ships is from the upper deck to go to the upper deck, just because the shaft would be too high for the bridges. Other than that, we do have an elevator to all floors, except, as I mentioned, the outside upper deck. But if the stairs are too much for you to take up there, you can always sit at the front of our ship or the aft of our ship as well. So again, but other than that, all our other ships for expedition and ocean do have elevators.
Okay, great. Are you able to accommodate celiac patients, passengers?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. Yes, please let your CAA advisor know whether you have a celiac, dairy, any type of allergy, please let us know. The only restrictions that that we are unable to do is halal and kosher, and that's because you need a separate kitchen. But any other allergy, absolutely we can cater to. We actually even have non-gluten beer and wine on board as well.
Yeah, I can attest to that. One of our travel associates has celiac as well as a few other allergies, and she was accommodated. They were terrific. How does the tipping on board work?
Normally, tip is about, I would say, 15 euros a day, and that goes to all staff. You can prepay your gratuities in Canadian dollars prior to departure.
Okay. In the case of political turmoil, is there an automatic cancellation?
Absolutely. Yes. If there's a first situation that is out of our control, absolutely we would look into that. And then, of course, please don't forget, Karen was mentioning, is insurance. That insurance will also help you if there is a reason that you do need to cancel for political, medical, any state there that you need to do. But again, it's only a $25 deposit to book your cruise.
Great. When is the discount available?
It is available now. You and your travel advisors are ready to take those calls. So, yes.
Great. So somebody did a Rhine River cruise October 2024. It was fantastic. Booked through her agent. And how do I take advantage of the CAA Viking offer? Do I call CAA first, Viking directly, thinking of doing an ocean next?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Your CAA advisor is there to help you with your air, your cruise. If you want to add a pre or post be prior to, no, absolutely. I would reach out to your CAA advisor.
Is there a doctor on the ship?
There are doctors on our ocean and our expedition ships. There are no doctors, believe it or not, on any river cruise, not just Viking, on any river cruise. We do not have, there are no doctors. There is medical trained staff, but you are within walking distance with any emergency medical need if necessary.
Great. Is the Mediterranean windy October to December?
That's a great question. You know what? It is with the way that really don't know how to answer these right now. It all depends on the global warming that we're kind of going through. But I would just windy. I would suggest it's a little bit cooler, and then of course always layer up.
And I personally did a cruise starting in Barcelona on New Year's Eve on December 31st and was down for a week, right down to Rome. I called it sweater weather. It was absolutely comfortable in the day, and in the evenings, okay, maybe a light, little heavier sweater. It was very comfortable. And personally, I was really surprised why I never traveled to the Med this time of year because it's wonderful. There are no crowds that you have in the summer. And of course, the summer now you've got the intense heat of the Mediterranean, which can be a little overwhelming. And of course, you're going to find the great deals and, you're going to have more of a local authentic experience when you don't have those crowds too.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So that seems to be all of our questions. Well, thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And thanks again, Hillary. It was great to see you.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you on Viking shortly.
Good night.